Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Today we are joined by Darnell Gouzy. So excited to have her here from Life Energy Therapies. And we want to welcome you back to the show today, Darnell. How are you?
Thank you so much, Jill. I'm so happy to be with you.
Great. Please say hello to your viewers and listeners here today and give us
Hi,
a little bit of
everyone.
your background. Hi.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. The journey in life for me has been one of healing, as most of us have become victim to a circumstance, situation, or engagement with someone. And then we try and run as fast as we can and heal.
Yeah.
And in that process, we learn a lot. We learn a lot about ourselves, but we learn if we can get through this successfully, we've evolved higher and we've gained a lot of wisdom on the way. And then we take that knowledge to reach out and help other people.
Great. So you're helping people physically, mentally, spiritually heal in a sense, right? And let's
Yeah,
point out the website. It's darnellgouzy.com, DarnellGouzy.com.
it is. Thank you.
Perfect. And I know today you wanted to focus a little bit on the immune system, correct?
Yes, with everyone at this point, we thought COVID would be a few months. Then we thought, 3 months. Kind
Wow.
of shut a party down, delay the date, and only to delay it again and again and again. And now, my real concern is the elderly with the separation isolation in a lot of the nursing homes, the separation isolation that happens in the hospitals. If now things are a little more open depending on where you are, if a loved one can go to the hospital with you, but it is that really traumatic state. And the children, what long-term effect is this going to have on the kids? What will they remember? And so I want to try and teach people not only how to survive it, and not to survive it with a bad story or horrific memory, which then long term creates disease because it creates disorders and disturbances in the energy field, only to become a statistic later, if not to get COVID now. You see, what is the healthcare crisis that we're going to be enduring on a psychological and physical level in years to come from this?
Got
You
it.
know,
Yeah, it's a lot for everyone. And especially those children, as you mentioned, having to go to school wearing a mask, not being able to play. And kids thrive, kids learn, kids grow on interaction and being social. And it's a shame that that's kind of been robbed from them in a sense this past year.
it is. And also, a lot of the 20-year-olds,
Yeah.
the early 30-year-olds, someone looking for a mate. How do
Hmm.
you get out into that network again?
Yeah.
It's never the same. And so, if we go back to basics, who are we? We're energy beings in a physical vehicle. So just like you go outside and get in your car,
Hmm.
your essence dropped into the physical body. So if I don't like something about myself, I use the positive intention. I am not the body. I am the spirit, the soul.
Yeah.
The mind and the body are merely instruments for the soul to utilize in its evolutionary process towards enlightenment and love.
Yeah.
And so that's also a great way to process out some of our things. But it becomes, we are basically connected to the earth. We're from the earth. I'm a real proponent in not forcing my beliefs on someone. I think that only creates discord. And who knows if I'm correct on what I believe? No one knows. And then when we die, there's no validation. It's just like poof, we don't know where we are. And
Mhm.
so, in that, what we do know is we came from the earth, whether it be from evolution or creation, it's irrelevant. We're beings of the earth. And we need to calibrate to the earth. So the earth has a torus, like a donut, a geometric formation of a donut of energy fields, as we see the aurora lights and everything. There's an amazing website that people may want to go to called Heart Math Institute. I believe it's .org.
Okay.
And their panel of board of directors is phenomenal, as physicists and physicians. And they are able to now know that the human body also has this torus formation or donut of energy in the biofield of energy, and have within the last few years realized the heart itself has its own torus. And why is that important? You know, everyone looked at the human body as the brain being the strongest essence of what we have energetically, and the brain controls all. But realistically, now they've discovered that the heart has its own torus, and when activated, can radiate way beyond the aura, way beyond. So we start interfacing. I know we've spoken about this on the podcast, but I'm a best-selling author
Yes.
in 2 books and an international
Congrats.
international bestseller.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, I
Being
didn't.
honest, you have to give us details on that too in a moment. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I usually kind of skirt over that. It's like, oh, you know.
We all do that, but I would love to know the titles and what they're about as well. Thank you.
Yes. So it's The Art and Truth and Transformation for Women is one of them. And I have a chapter called The Awakening by Light, Love, and Fire. And it's a collection of prayers, poems, and reflections that I have witnessed in sessions with people, you know, coming out and then just seeing. And it's really not my, well, like I said, English was not my best suit in school. I was never out there writing poetry or anything, but after a session, I will just get this impartation, and I become the extension with like an automatic writing. And the other book is The Gifts and Grace of Gratitude. And my chapter in that book is called Beyond Hope. And it's a story of my own healing journey and what I had gone through, and that it's never wasted. What happens in our trauma, when we become so focused on that trauma, it's like our life is a vehicle. We're in the car and we're trying to desperately go forward, but we keep watching from the rearview mirror. And if we keep watching the rearview mirror, we keep falling and stumbling, and we can't get anywhere. We're so frustrated. We feel victimized by life, but what happened by the trauma? But it's our choice to not look in the rearview mirror any longer, and to begin to cut, release, and let go all that was. Take the positives from it, even if you can't see it, it'll later show itself. And just start looking forward and trying to manifest through positive intention, you know, to be empowered. We have so much power and we don't know it. A man will think a woman has a lot of power when she may be fighting him. You know, we're like, we really can get in there, you know. But we can use it for many things, not just to get our way. And so look, kind of a little joke for women, but we know we're strong. So that's right. So, but when we get back to the Heart Math Institute and the aura of the torus, the energy field, the biofields, those fields radiate out and into the collective. So we can unite with a group that we identify with or that we want to identify with. So this is actually a lecture that I did. I was one of the first in the state of Louisiana to be asked to lecture at the Student Nurses Convention. They're graduating nurses for Louisiana. It was a major for Louisiana. We're like the last to shift and all this stuff. And I spoke on the integration of allopathic medicine when combined with energy medicine for optimal healing and health. And to take that mindset of, you know, what is energy medicine? What is it that I do? Am I an energy medicine practitioner? Am I a Reiki practitioner? Am I theta? There's so many collectives in this new wave that's been radiating out into the world, just spreading like a fire because people are so desperate for alternative care. You see, now I do strongly believe in working together. I've seen the off balance of both. I used to work in a hospital. My sister's a physician, my aunt's a nurse practitioner, all this stuff. And I've seen the imbalance and the balance. The imbalance is medical science says biofields are not true, and you're a victim to your genetics. That's not true because we have epigenetics. And through epigenetics, we can turn off these genetic markers so we're no longer victim to the genetic DNA presets. We can shift them. On the there's so much to share. It's like, but in the reactionary responses, a lot of things are learned behavior. So we look at genetics, shifting the epigenetics to turn off markers we do not want. And then we go into shifting out learned behavior. Although we've seen it, and that's a lot of the energy work that I do, it is so, in this, I work with biofields of the body to assist you for your greatest good, whatever that may be, whether it be physical, emotional, mental, psychological. I've worked with schizophrenics, bipolar. I just had a physician, a medical practitioner come to me yesterday at my office in New Orleans. And she said, so I've been with my therapist, and she was asking me, what type of hypnosis do you do? I'm not giving you hypnosis. She said, oh, yes, you are. When I leave you for about 3 or 4 days, I'm hypnotized. And I'm like, this person suffered with bulimia for years, since a child. Now she's in her 30s. And I said, I don't hypnotize you. She said, I feel like I'm in a state of such calm and peace. I don't react to stress. And my eating is completely governed. She said, I've even driven past work to do my ritual binge after work. And I'm thinking, I don't want this, and drove away. And she said, so I thought it would last for about 4 days. And then, I would come back. And I said, no. So when you assess, what was that?
Yeah.
What was
That's powerful.
thought forms?
Yeah.
It's negative thought forms. Because when we manifest on a thought, we're co-creators with energy. If I was to look at a spot and think my nemesis is cheese, like if it was reincarnation, I was a mouse and I have to have all the cheese in the world. That's the only way my husband could get me off the dance floor.
I had a polio before, by the way. I love cheese too.
That's how he would get me off the dance floor. Okay, look, we'll stop and we'll pick up some 90 Day Sharp. And I was like, oh, really? And I'd rip it open with the car keys. And yeah, so it's fun. Anyway, a little side joking in there. But the more you think about that ice cream, the cheese, the drug, whatever it is, we look at your printers. Years ago, the first printers that came out for the home, very low pixelation. It was not clear, it was not sharp, it wasn't defined. But then as the greater printers came in, higher pixelation, higher resolution, higher clarification. This is what our thoughts do. Our thoughts, because wherever you touch your body, your attention goes. Wherever your mind goes, energy follows. So to have the intention or the thought, food, I want to binge, I just got to eat it all. Why is that in the first place? There's a void that's being filled in that moment. So that's the deeper root of the issue. Mm-hmm. The issue isn't the food. The food is the side effect or the symptom to temporarily give gratification. But the obsessive thought patterns all day long about needing this food, higher and more energies come into that particleized positioning. If it's right in the forefront of your mind, it's here. If it's on the side, when we start feeding it more and more energy, now it becomes very defined. Now it becomes a 3D image printers. Yeah. You see? So now we've put this image into our aura. If we, as you go into, so with her particular case, after the session, I would disintegrate these thought forms, balance out our energy fields. And so we, within a few minutes, when she told me that after her session, I said, it's a void of a lack of love. She has no one in her proximity. Her family's in another state. And she had a broken relationship that really heartfelt hit her. And so what she's really trying to fill is that void of love and that temporary gratification of food. And so when I taught her what we need to do, and it's harder. See, it's harder for this particular client. And again, I don't push my belief on anyone, but the facts are, you have energy fields, you have energy centers. They breathe. When you drink, you urinate. When you eat, you defecate. And your energy breathes. It pulls in, it exhales. It pulls in, it exhales. So when people cut themselves off from source, whether they were never raised with, and I'm not talking about religion and all the dogma, I'm talking about a divine connection. When people have been hurt within what is supposed to be that type of system of love, and they're like, okay, this is baloney. These people are, this is not real. These people are so fake, and I'm running as just far away as I can from this. What happens energetically is the heart gets shut off, and you don't close down completely, but it becomes diminished or depleted or underactive. And so, and the crown. So the crown is a big energy source. And it when it rotates open, it pulls down a 4-pathway channel. So it's the front, the back, and the 2 sides. Those channels actually, let's say when I work or any other energy practitioner works, we may scan, mostly pranic healing, because we do the diagnostics. So meaning we're going to measure dianema. I can't.
Diameter? I know what you
That's
mean.
it. 10 times I'm thinking about the cheese. But
I love fresh mozzarella, but yes.
But is it 4 to 6 inches? That's a normal range.
Okay.
Is it 2.5 foot? Is it 3 foot? Can I not feel anything? If I don't get a reading on it, then I'll have to say, show me 50%, show me 10%, and find the actual range of function of that one particular energy center. And we check all 11 major energy centers. Wow. Then you're going to do a measurement of this way. Is the forehead, the ajna, the throat. So if I'm going to measure here, and it's a normal range, you want everything to be in a balanced line for each person, but there's an average. And so let's say I come out to an energy here, but when I come here, it's pushing. I come here, it's pushing. I go to my heart, and there's a coolness and a depletion. What does that mean? So it's either overactive, it's congested or depleted, overactive or underactive. So we do multi-dimensional measurements. And this is every pranic healer all over the world in 120 countries. And I want to mention, give a shout out to 2 of my masters. There's 8 master healers in the world in this system. Grandmaster Choa Sui was the founder and developer in the Philippines, gave his life's work. Gave his life's work, and is just phenomenal. The science and the spiritualism that is together with the healing for optimal healing and health. Master Stephen Coe is the actual healer for Tony Robbins. And he is, I'm in his region in Louisiana, and he's one of my personal masters. And Master Glenn Mendoza and his wife Marilog, they're in New Jersey, yeah, they're right by you, and close to New York. And he is a physician at New York Presbyterian Hospital. He heads up the Pranic Healing Research Institute. We have all kind of, just so much. There's so much documentation out there now that people, before, I would say 10 years ago, it was a theory, and now it's really coming in where we can prove and validate a lot of what's happening. So to get back to the energy measurements of these things, when, let's say, the energy of the heart is really big, but when I measure this way, it's depleted. That means it's straining and struggling so hard to pull in energy, but there's a block, almost like a scab or a crust. So there's something, and I'm a Reiki master in 3 lineages. I'm a theta healer, laying hands in the church, which, the divine is where it all is. And this is all systems connected with the divine. But I love the science of being able to find out what is going on, because in other systems, you just connect and allow the energy to flow. If there is a scab, if there is something there, you're shoving it in further, and people can go into healing crisis.
Okay.
So they're going to get better. It's like a detox. You feel a little off the first few days of detox. You're detoxing. If you detox too fast, it's the same thing with the energy work. And it does work. All systems work. That is not even debated. But which one has the highest efficiency with the least resistance? You see, and that's the greatest outcome. So, when we do all these energy measurements, when we look at this crown chakra here, if you have plumbing backup in your house, a blocked toilet, you get the guy or get the little snake from the place and run it in there and open it up. But if you have a major blockage in your system, these guys have to get on the roof, go down a main pipe to blow out all of the plumbing in the house. That's what the function of the crown is. So where all energy practitioners come here and pull or push or stabilize, the divine consciousness, when we connect, is always channeling in those 4 pathways and clearing from the bottom out. You see, so it's a way of maintenance for ourselves, and it's a way for greater peace. Now, when I lectured, where we talk about the collectiveness, universal coherence, it's about the heart. That goes back to Heart Math Institute and the radiating force of the biofields of the heart. We can, with intention, activate our heart energy field. So if someone is in the most grief and despair and they have absolutely nothing, they have no parents, they just popped in the earth with so much trauma that they can't recall one good thing, I'll have them bring their consciousness into their heart and love themselves, just to hold themselves, visualize themselves, be an embrace by themselves. And just to have that oneness within, and then to breathe in and bring the energy. And I'll do some guided meditations, which I've not learned how to do that. I'm guided to in the guided meditation. I receive guidance to guide you. And so that energy goes up from the heart. Sometimes I'll see it as a liquid golden thread of light come into the brain, and it'll pause here and release. Because when I have so many people with bruxism or busted out teeth, implants, this is when the throat gets so backed up with, when people have anger, they really have fear, and anger covers fear. When it's sustained long-term and not released, now it affects the jaw minor chakras, and that muscle memory of the tension and fear goes here. So I'll bring that energy up, allow the breath and release, bring it up to the brain, activate the pineal gland. Now, some people know about it, some people don't, but the pineal gland I look at it as the button to push the remote control for your sunroof. Okay. So when you activate the pineal gland, it actually has some elements that release almost a opalescent, iridescent light around it scientifically. And this higher activation of this, they say fluoride toothpaste calcifies the pineal. People can look up all kind of stuff on that. And, how Hitler actually put fluoride into the water systems to subdue the people. Try and control their will and their drive and thrive. So it's an interesting.
Wow. I'm writing everything down because I do Google later. I'm going to look into all this.
Yeah, do your research. Heart Math Institute, pineal gland, Hitler.
Fluoride. I got everything.
Fluoride. And so I'll guide that energy. I'll stay in that state and bring high activation to the pineal gland with just love, and guide them up. So how many people do yoga in the US of A? You kind of chic. You girls go out and eat, go do yoga, right? Well, I don't either, but I'm a yogi.
Okay.
I'm a yogi, but I don't do yoga. I should. But when they do the positioning like this, there's an energy center right here. It's your 12th chakra. It's your higher soul, your divine self, your higher consciousness, which can go out and gather information and drop it down into you. So when so many people are in a yoga pose, it's like, bring awareness, bring your consciousness up,
Yeah.
see yourself as the witness, as the higher self, the divine self, and put your intention to the universe. Now, above that, so there's levels of truth. I love the whole teaching outline, the guidance that we have in Prime Date Healing, because we talk about levels of truth. So to one of my grandchildren, my name is Gouzy, and I live in this house.
Mhm.
To the other grandchild, my name is Darnell, and I live in Plantation Boulevard. The next grandchild, I'm on the earth in the US of A, and so that is the exact thing in spiritualism. So we study all traditions. So not only do we study the healing, we study the science, the biofields, then we start studying religion, meaning we look at the collective of what we all see the same instead of the differences. And where is the hidden secrets in the art? Because before mankind had the intellectual capacity to assimilate this information and knowledge, it was hidden in the art. And so a lot of the Hindu avatars that you'll see is the blue guys with the flute and with the peacock feather, and all those are all ancient secrets until the evolution of mankind's intellect could be able to assimilate this and grow from it. And so we study all of that and the common threads. And, I was in the Vatican and saw so much.
We have a call.
We have a call.
I didn't even know we were taking calls today. And
Awesome.
no, hold on. Let's see. Hello, welcome. That's bizarre. Okay, you can call back if you like. Actually, we're out of time.
Oh,
my
I'm so sorry. That was our alarm.
Oh my
So
God.
as you have
That's
learned,
weird. And it was just a regular number. I don't know who it was. 231. All right. Anyway,
that's
I
awesome.
apologize. So
Thank you so much.
I heard we're going to be speaking again later today, right?
Yes, we are.
Perfect.
Yes.
We'll continue the conversation. In the meantime, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Yes, go to darnellgouzy.com, DarnellGouzy.com, and you can fill out a request form, and I'll be happy to get back with you.
Perfect. And we're going to talk later, of course, of the work you can do. If someone out there watching, listening today is in need of your guidance, which I think a lot of us are. I'm curious how it works a little further. We'll get into details on that. In the meantime,
Thank you so much.
thank you for your time. And
You
of
too.
course, we'll be back. We'll see you a little bit later today on the show. Thank you again,
Okay.
Darnell Gouzy. In the meantime, everyone else, stay tuned. More of the show is coming right up after the break.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.